Hi, I am going to talk to you through this lesson on density today. So what is density and what do you need to know about it? So I want you to imagine two blocks, both the same size. One's made of polystyrene, one's made of iron. Even though they're the same size, which one will be heavier? Well, the iron one would be heavier. It's got a higher density. Okay, so we talk of density as being high, low density. Okay, so the polystyrene would be low density. So what do we need to know about density? So this is what it says in the syllabus. You need to know what the density is. You need to know the equation for density. Okay, and you need to be able to calculate the density of a solid and liquid. You need to also know regular and irregular objects. We're just going to look at a solid and a liquid today. We'll talk a bit more about irregular and regular objects a bit more next lesson. So what is density? So before we go any further, I want you to draw me a picture of a solid, liquid and gas. See if you can remember how the particle model looks like on that. So pause the video and have a little go. So our solid, remember all the particles are together. You should have paused by now and come back. Liquid and our gas, the particles are really far apart. Our liquid, common mistake here, particles should still be touching, but they shouldn't be in rows. Now that's not a great picture, is it? Because they're all still looking quite in rows, but the particles should be touching, but they shouldn't be in rows. Now look at all my particles, they should all be roughly the same size, okay? Even between the solids, liquids and gases pictures. So density, what is it? So the equation for density is density equals mass divided by volume. Now, you have to learn that equation. It is one of the ones to learn. The way I like to remember it is density breaks my heart. So density equals mass over volume. See the mass here over the volume. Okay, so that's how we work it out. So let's have a little think about a object. So if I have a cube and my cube is 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre, because it's a cube, I can work out the volume. So the volume would be 1 times 1 times 1, okay, which would give me 3 centimetres cubed. Okay, cubed for volume. Now, if I weigh it and I put it on a set of scales, if I weigh it and put it on a set of scales and it weighs 100 grams, okay, my mass would be 100 grams, not weight. A silly mistake there that I said weigh it, but put it on a balance, measure its mass, 100 grams. Then I can work out the density. Remember how we do equation questions. FNAU, formulas, numbers, answers, units. So what's our formula? Density equals mass divided by volume. Okay, now we're going to put in our numbers. Is 100 divided by our volume, which is 3. 100 divided by 3 would give me an answer of 33.3333. Is that appropriate number of decimal places? We go to the same number of decimal places as our question, which would just be 33. And our units are whatever our mass is in divided by or over the units of our volume, okay? So grams per centimetre cube for density. Now what about for a liquid? Okay, for a liquid, we'll use a similar thing. So we've got a liquid, there's my liquid in a jug. How would I measure a liquid? You should know what piece of equipment I would use to measure my liquid. I would use a measuring cylinder. Okay, so here's my liquid and I measure it and it's got a volume of 50 centimetres cubed. I measure its mass using a balance and it's got a mass of 150 grams. Same formula. So FNAU, formula, numbers, answer, units. Density equals mass divided by volume equals 150 grams divided by our 50 centimetres cubed. Our volume, don't need the 50 centimetres cubed, just need the 50. So I'm just going to remove that, make it cleaner to look at. Okay, and Work it out, so 150 divided by 50, use our calculator. You don't need to be able to do it in your head. Is 3. So, units, 3, mass was in grams, the units were in centimetres cubed. Okay, now your units for density might change depending on what your mass and your volume is. Okay, so that's what you need to know to be able to calculate the density.